major faults. The first fault the first error is about the objective of taxation itself. The second one is the forgery. Let us address the forgery first.
Okay, go ahead.
The National Assembly passed a law as to how the tax administration will be carried out. He settled down and forged.
Good day, good day, good day. Yes, State of the Nation. It's another Friday. Yes, another Friday. We need to always discuss with people that know, people that speak truth to power, not just erudite, not just concise, people that say they experience people. So today we are going to bring another somebody, in my opinion, who is equally very qualified. He's a veteran, he's a journalist, he's a lawyer. He's been there, he's seen that, done that. And one of the reasons why we do what we do is not just to criticize or shed light or break down fact. We also seek for solutions, because after all said and done, the world we can't live in isolation, not as Africans, not as Nigerians. Now, I've said in the past that it does look like Nigeria seems battered almost beyond repairs, and texturally sometimes things look good, but right now it just seems like the ship of state is rudderless, and like someone just said today, that where's our president? So we're going to ask Mr. Albert Oladapo Ogunwusi, who is our guest today. Mr. Ogunwusi, welcome to State of the Nation on the Atlanta Discuss channel.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Now, Mr. Ogunwusi, like I said, is a journalist, is a lawyer, and he's a teacher, he's a public affairs analyst. He was editor of the Tribune newspaper, so he's a veteran. Yeah, Nigeria's oldest surviving newspaper, that's Tribune. Yeah, a university lecturer, and currently is a legal practitioner, so he knows his rope, he knows the law. So now, Mr. Ogunwusi, what's your take on President Tinubu's absence from the Armed Forces Remembrance Day? Especially considering that, he left Nigeria about 2 weeks ago or thereabout, and we hear he's in Abu Dhabi and all that. Do you think it's consequential in any way to the morale of the military? We are fighting insurgents and all that. So what's your take? What's your take on the absence? Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, basically, there is no doubt that there are geriatric issues with the
president,
with the man. He's fairly old, much older than he claims to be. And these things do tell on the human body. I know for a fact that he goes to hospitals in France and UK. And what I cannot understand is why he could not bring the equipment and the doctors to Nigeria to reduce the need for him to be junketing for medical reasons. Although that is also explainable by the fact that when you do it domestically, the rumor mill gets agog. So I think he's trying to take care of his health. Even though they will give you the impression that he's the best person around, he has been all over the world and is very active, etc., etc., etc. You and I know that there is a lot of lying around power. It is, symptomatic of the way people run power in many parts of the world, especially Nigeria, that you have to tell a lot of lies. So they will show you a picture saying that he was able to, bulldoze his way through one big meeting, and he was the center of attraction, blah, blah, blah. Then you discover that the meeting did not even hold this year. So there is so much lying going on. But I wish him, a sound health. I wish him what I wish myself medically. And I have no doubt that we have issues about his health. And the issues may not necessarily be something to worry in the extreme about. I think they are related to his age and maybe some of the possible events that had earlier taken place in his life.
Life, okay. All right, let me put it this way, right? I know about 2 days ago or 3, he was in Abu Dhabi for a summit. It might still be in Abu Dhabi. So at least to a very large extent, we can claim that, okay, it's at this particular location. But comparing to the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which is highly symbolic, where we honor dead soldiers and all that, don't you think it would have been better for him to attend that and probably send his vice president to the summit at Abu Dhabi? And second quick follow-up with that, you said you think he's probably older than he is. Why do you think so? Over to you, sir.
Because when you look at all the corollaries, there are people we know who knew him, and when you plot the age graph, and then look at his family, the woman who goes about to claiming to be Yaloja, she's close to 70. How can the father also be 70 at the same time? All of these things. Then he lost a wife, an ex-wife, some years ago. That person was already 73 years or something like that. So it's not possible for him to be roughly 70 as he's claiming. It's absolutely impossible. So people call it football age. That he's actually claiming his football age. It is an extension of the presumption that African footballers could be dishonest with their age in order to get into big teams out of Africa. So I have no doubt that age is football age.
Yeah, but the other thing is, don't you think it would have been better for him to attend the Armed Forces Remembrance Day and Shetima, the vice president, should be in Abu Dhabi for the summit? Because it's highly symbolic.
We are talking of Armed Forces Remembrance Day. There are a number of things that he ought to have done. I will give you one tiny example.
Okay.
There was an incident in which terrorists wiped out a whole town. They killed 208 people. And I saw the picture on TV in which journalists were asking him to go and visit the place. The place is called Yewata. And he said, okay, we'll go there on Wednesday. He just considered right there. He had no plan. Then he went there. It was in Benue State. He got to Makurdi, got all the soldiers around him, all the defense chiefs around him. They were all pledging their allegiance and, giving him salutes and so on. And then when they finished, what of the place he wanted to visit? He said it was raining. That was September. Up till now, the rain has not stopped for him. Wow. So you can see he is very negligent of that office. There's no doubt. He has this idea that he could get away with anything. That is macho man. Like this old Italian Forbes. These big Italian mobsters, the way they see everything like they are in charge and they have, such, unrestrained understanding and power to solve any problem. Well, he has been getting away with all of this, and we hope that the country will not hurt irretrievably or irreparably as a result of that attitude. Now, when we now talk of somebody who don't care to visit a war-torn village, even when America threatened to bring, to attack terrorists in Nigeria, he was gathering stuff to go to Angola or somewhere. In fact, they had already announced that he had left. Before some people told him that if you live like this, there is a high likelihood you may not want to come back. Because it was ridiculous. That was when he said he was not going anymore. That security situation has not that security situation has not improved dramatically.
No, it has not.
So the idea of his going to France and then from France to the Davos, or where did he go?
Abu Dhabi.
Is it Qatar? All of these gilded cage, conferences. It's just completely ridiculous. There is no justification for it other than the fact that he needs those travels as a cover to get medical help.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, that is my presumption.
Okay, fair enough. So I want us to talk about the new tax law and all that. But before that, let's talk more about the president. In lieu of the geriatric nature, that was the word you used, and I like it. It's very symbolic to the argument also. And the way things are right now, it's just planning. The president has been more busy with planning for 2027 election. That's the second time. Now, from all we see, what we hear, the president is not particularly, physically fit. We've seen it. I think he fell down in one of the parade he attended some time back. We could see, like you said, it's clear from mere looking and all that. And somebody you might know very well, Professor Patutomi, said that anybody that is over 70 should not even vie for that office, that the rigors of being president of Nigeria is really overwhelming. So now, where am I going with this? Do you think the president should even consider going for a second time, considering his health limitations and what have you?
For several reasons. In the first place, he has not done well. And I say that with every emphasis and every sense of responsibility. Ordinarily, power is supposed to be used for the overall good of the society. People are hungrier, people are less safe. The system is in tatters, and the country is in strings. There is no possibility that we'll even get out of all of these troubles. Then the only thing he has to tell you is 2027. Now, if he's now looking for 2027, and America had to shout on him before they started taking action against healers and bandits. If he was thinking of 2027, and people have to be as hungry as they are, if he's thinking of 2027, and you are now paying workers $38 a month in one of the richest countries on earth, and you take loans every day, and you never account for those loans, and you started a project, the largest infrastructure project in Africa, $12 or $13 billion. You just signed it on your breakfast table. No due diligence, no bidding, no checks, nothing. And you awarded it to a company in which your son is a director. In those circumstances, are you telling me that the right thing for him to do is to start looking for second term? But he has not really passed in the first term. Even though a lot of people will say, you should not be talking like that. You are a Yoruba man. I mean, that is disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. You don't need to be Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba before you know what is right and what is wrong. You now have a situation like that, and then you say the only thing you could understand, even when they are killing people, even when they are burning down communities. Just last week, they were in northern Oyo State. They killed 5 people in one of the communities. These Fulani terrorists. And all the president has to think about is either he goes abroad for some of these spurious trips, he takes a new loan, or he campaigns for 2027. That is all he cares about. It is shocking that power could ever get to such a point whereby you could not rein in the president. You could look at the tax issue. I thought we will talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
the tax issue has to do with two major faults. The first fault the first error is about the objective of taxation itself. The second one is the forgery. Let us address the forgery first.
Okay, go ahead.
The National Assembly passed a law as to how the tax administration will be carried out. He settled down and forged a completely different document. And that is what he gazetted for implementation. The second problem is this. What is the objective of taxation? It's not just to raise money for social infrastructure. It's also for redistribution of wealth. That is a practice in America. It is a practice in Germany. It is a practice in France. It is a practice in the United Kingdom. That is why when people are earning below a particular threshold, it is the duty of the taxman to give them the balance. They call it tax credit, tax rebate, call it any name you like.
Refund,
whatever. So if somebody is earning below 800,000 naira, it is the duty of that tax regime to hand him a check to build up his own income up to that 800,000 naira threshold. There's nothing like that. Anybody is unemployed, anybody is hungry, anybody is underemployed may just go to hell. So you just ask yourself, is this a Nigerian government?
Well,
so when you look at factors like that, you ask yourself, on what are they basing the 2027? Yet all the governors are decamping. All of them are decamping into what? For what reason? They say they have been passing a lot of money around, and then there is also the legal cover that they will not be prosecuted for corruption, and that they could also organize, second term together. When the president returns for second term, all of them too will return for second term. That is very attractive to crooked politicians. And that is the situation in which we find ourselves. The National Assembly is like a parastatal of the executive. The judiciary even looks far worse than that. And people are even saying it publicly. The sanctity, the hallowed sanctity of the portals of justice has been bespattered by so many excesses, so many uncertainties. You don't know what the court will say anymore. I mean, these are all issues in the public domain. It's not as if I'm speaking in content of the judiciary. No. So that is just how bad it is. State capture.
There's something that just came to my head now. I mean, you were editor of Tribune, and that's the oldest surviving newspaper in Nigeria, and it was founded by Jeremiah Obafemi Awolowo, right? And
that's correct.
And I know that. I mean, I went to Abeokuta Grammar School, so it's a legacy school, 1908, Ionian school, and all that. And I remember growing up, a lot was said about Awolowo, free education and all that. So my point is, Awolowo being a Yoruba man, everybody knows the Western region had the first university, first TV station, and even before
that's correct.
Even before some European countries, Now, the Yoruba legacy has always been based on Awolowo's achievement, Omoluabi, Karojire, all those basic tenets. As a matter of fact, Yorubas have been seen to be the most detribalized people in the Nigerian structure. Now, with everything you have analyzed about the Bola Tinubu presidency, having failed, having mismanaged the economy, having nothing to show, for the period, despite the fact that, he seemed like one of those that are prepared to be there. Do you think when he leaves power, because he will leave one day, do you think it will affect the legacy of the Yoruba people? Do you think it will change the way people have looked at the Yorubas vis-a-vis Awolowo now, subsequently to Bola Tinubu? Do you think the Bola Tinubu presidency will be an aberration on the Yoruba legacy?
If for some reason Bola Tinubu leaves power today, for the next 4 years we will see scandals, unimaginable events that you never thought people could just try. Because even if you look at the snippets, you just wonder, these are magicians and they just try anything. And imagine people will keep quiet. Imagine forging an act of the National Assembly and getting ready to implement it. I mean, look, when and if he leaves power, you see, I also use the preposition if. Then this for taking over practically every agency and every arm of government the way he has. I think he has no wish to leave, but if at all for any reason he somehow leaves, we will all get tired of scandals.
Why do you think he would not want to leave? You said you don't think he wants. Why wouldn't he want to leave? At most, he will spend two tenures of 4 years each of 8 years. So why wouldn't, if his tenure ends after the second time, he has to leave. There's no two way around it. Everybody has left. Obasanjo, who is even of military background, Timber and Caliber left. Babangida was even military, had to leave somehow. So why will Bola Tinubu not want to leave?
I will show you why.
Why?
An emperor is different from a head of state or a president. The man is completely imperial.
Wow.
He wants to go down the street. There will be 200 jeeps to follow him. And they say the cars don't belong to government. I said, oh, you don't know anything about head of state. Just have people coming into the convoy anyway. You can't have people coming into the convoy just anyhow. No. That he knows those people are there along the road with him. He likes the idea too. And then you ask yourself, don't these people buy fuel? You just continue to count 140, 160, 180 vehicles just because they wanted to escort him to wherever he wanted to go. That is ridiculous. Anybody who behaves like that is an emperor. He has no wish to live. And then even look at the posture of the government itself. They do anything they like. He will award a $13 billion contract without passing it through National Assembly on his desk. That does not look like somebody wants to live one day. No, it doesn't. Because if you know one day you will leave, you will not make a mistake like that.
Well,
but he doesn't see it as a mistake. He doesn't see it as a mistake. So I have no doubt that he has no wish to leave. After getting second term, if he gets second term, he will start planning third term and to remain there forever.
Well, based on your analysis,
you mean somebody will just be taking billions of dollars every day and he will not even account for it? They are talking of 2026 budget. He had not implemented 2024 budget. He has not implemented 2025 budget. That is not somebody who wants to go anywhere. It is like state capture.
Let me add this to the question I asked. You said he's a geriatric, which means somebody of old age and all that, So I'm sure, I don't know his real age, but everybody keeps saying that it's clearly maybe older than what he's saying and all that. It doesn't have so much time to live, clearly, I mean, so why will he want to be in power? That's what I'm asking. Why will somebody that is old, is already bedeviled with physical challenges and which is glaring the way he works and all that. So why would he want to stay? I don't know why you think that way. I find that might be science. Maybe
only he could answer a question like that. But what I can say is that there are examples for him to copy from.
In Africa.
There are examples, in Africa. Okay. There are all of these 90-year-old guys who still remain in power. And he is not probably yet 90, but he's quite close. So he wants to be there as long as possible. And that is the whole idea of being an emperor. An emperor knows he will have to leave one day. If he does not leave the throne, he will live in a coffin. He knows that. But he wants to make sure that nobody while he's alive, calls the shots. You can see the state he governed, Lagos. Has he ever left Lagos State? He's still the governor of Lagos State. And I have a way of saying, look, that was Tinubu 1. Fashola was Tinubu 2. Ambode was Tinubu 3. What we have now is Tinubu 4. And there are rumors that we soon have a real Tinubu again coming in as Tinubu 5 or 6. So it's something that is easy for anybody to, extrapolate. It's not hard.
Yeah, but
I don't think the guy is doing. I don't think he has the plan to go anywhere.
So you're saying he would rather just die as a president, and that would be his parting shot rather than losing an election?
Well, exactly. I believe that exactly is what is going on.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's talk about opposition politics. Our PDP is bedeviled with so much crisis now. It's almost as if it's non-existent. Now we have the ADC. There seems to be a lot of realignment of forces. A lot of people in APC have left. The Amechis are neurophiles of this world, Atiku and some of his guys too are in ADC. Do you think, considering what can happen in the immediate future, do you think the ADC can offer, the proper opposition that can face the APC in the next election? Do you think they have what it takes?
You see, anybody can remove Tinubu. Anybody at all with the right kind of support. And he's trying to hold on to as much as he could, on the international level. It is America that determines who becomes Nigeria's president, at least up to 2023.
Yeah, true.
If they change their mind and they believe as an agent, he has done his bit, of course, they will remove him. They will remove him one way or the other through the ballot box. They are the ones who formed so many of these political parties. Except you want to start living in self-delusion. This is an American state. I assure you, if the United States wants him out of power, it is highly unlikely that he will survive it. Highly.
All right, fair. Okay, still on the ADC, do you think that an article should still be in the picture? Do you think that candidate should be from the north or from the south? In the south, they have Amechi.
First of all, I have a problem with article.
What's the problem?
After Buhari, why another 90-year-old Fulani man? Why? And then with the present reputation of the Fulani nation, why hand over the country back to a Fulani man again? That is very hard for anybody who's sensible to swallow. Leave that one. Let's talk about whether the presidency should stay in the north or in the south. Chebi, I thought the whole idea is 8 years, for two terms of 4 years each. Yeah. So why does anybody want to take it away from the south? Why? So I think, sincerely speaking, that if they cannot bring up a credible candidate from the south, there's a high likelihood that Tinubu will return. Because I know there are a lot of people who would not want to vote for a northerner at this stage. There's too much agony going on in different parts of the country. Many people are burying their own relations as a result of this Fulani extremism. And then you want to tell those people to go and vote for another Fulani man. Yes, I know Atiku is a bit detribalized and he has a great world view, but he will never stop being a Fulani man.
Yeah, but
that is a very big.
Will the Northerners vote for a Southerner? Will the Northerners vote for a Southern candidate? That's another school of thought.
A lot of things will come to play. They used to talk about the North as if it's a monolithic entity. And people have been trying to portion about that. Yeah. The North Central is not Hausa Fulani. It's predominantly people of various stocks. Many of whom have suffered irrecoverably under Fulani domination and extremism. I do not think that if there is a free and fair election, I don't think a northern candidate would have it easy in the middle belt of Nigeria. Just like I also don't think that Tinubu will find it convenient. So there are so many other issues that are working, and I think those who own Nigeria can solve the problem very easily. They can solve the problem.
So
They know how to do it.
do you believe that we can still have free and fair election in Nigeria?
Yes, we can if the government is ready, but I know in this case there won't be free and fair election organized by Tinubu. And the European Union has already given a warning that if the election does not address some of the pitfalls of the last election, they would not support whatever outcome it brings up.
Okay. Yeah, I think
as for America, it's very difficult to predict Donald Trump. He will say something tonight, tomorrow morning he says something else. And that is why America is on a free fall, morally, economically, militarily. So those are all factors that are up in the air.
Okay, let's go to constitutional issues now. We've said so much the problems, this problem, that problem, all that. What do you think is actually the way forward? Because if you look at health, nothing is really working. People came all the way from abroad, they had accidents. The response was very shoddy and poor. We don't have to call names, but it keeps increasing. We thought, oh, it's all over, and the sportsman, popular guy, then the literary giant, the lady and the child. It's really becoming embarrassing. Elsewise, we're nowhere. Security, nothing to write them about. Education, strike from strike to strike. They resolve it. Like as soon as they say they've resolved the strike, even the previous agreement has not been honored. So when you look at the key indices that determine what a failed state is, Nigeria clicks all the button, all you can just start ticking. So is it fair to say Nigeria has failed as a country? That's question number one. Two is that if things are looking this bad, what do you prefer as a solution going forward? If you had your way, for example, if you had your way that, Mr. Dapo, the onus is on you to rectify the Nigerian situation, what will you do? Will it be a constitutional amendment? Will we go back to confederation, devolution of power? What will be your way of rectifying everything going on in the ensuing scenario?
Yeah, everybody likes to blame, the defects of the constitution, especially when they know that the extant errors are, evolutions from governmental recklessness and the inconsistencies and so on and so forth. They are forgetting the fact that there is a country on earth that has no constitution. No constitution at all, just conventions and acts of parliament, which could change. No parliament can bind the other. And the UK it used to be the ruler of the entire world. It is still a great voice in the world. There is no way that the country could succeed with the kind of tapestry we have. People are just not honest enough to run a successful system. And we keep bringing up these honest leaders, people who could rig, who could kill. Those are the only kinds of people we put in power. And we do not have any structure at all, no power center that will be like some kind of stopgap. So summarily, I don't think it's about constitution. It's about the will to follow the law, the will to follow what is right. That will is missing, tragically speaking.
So you agree with Professor Pat Utomi, who said our problem is failure of leadership, not constitutional amendment.
Exactly, you got it.
Wow, interesting. So how do we arise? I mean, how do we get to where we get a leader? Our votes don't count. I mean, I used to say that in the past, our elections were free but not fair. Now they're not free, they're not fair. The good people are not in politics. And I mean, if you look at it, religious leadership has failed, traditional leadership has failed. So it's looking every day like there is a lot of inherent dishonesty in the land, which was part of what you were trying to say. So our leaders might just look like a reflection of who Nigerians are. So how do we arrive at this competent, leadership you are talking about without with very little blemish? How do we get there?
Traditionally, there used to be power centers that could call the nation to order.
Mm-hmm.
There was the military.
Okay.
There are traditional institutions. There is the church or the clergy. All these power centers have been overrun. Not to even talk of the judiciary. All of these power centers have been overrun. Everybody just wants to go with the flow. And I wonder what they are afraid of. Because as I'm talking to you, I do not think that I could tell you what the position of the law is on any issue as of today. Because the law is what the Supreme Court says is the law. And the Supreme Court is ready to disappoint you, to surprise you at any time in a situation like this. We ourselves are disappointing ourselves. So you have people that they give 30,000 naira in a month just to go and buy data and tell lies on behalf of Tinubu. They said the budget is 10 billion naira a month just to keep paying these people so that they will continue to tell lies. I have no proof of that, but I can see evidence of the activities. These are the same people who will still go back home and say Nigeria is not good. So I don't know what they really want. So we have a problem with every sector. And it's not about the written constitution at all. No.
So are we a failed state? If morally we are bankrupt, judiciary bankrupt, the law enforcement non-existent, health, water, everything, education dead. So is there any hope? That's my last question to you. Is there any hope? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Because
from the factors on the
they say
from the factors on the table, from the factors on the table, the answer is no.
No, okay.
But then in politics, there is always the X factor.
Okay.
The unknown factors, things you never expected.
And that happens a lot in Nigeria. Our history shows that.
Exactly. You've got the point. Nigeria is a good ground for the germination of X factors. Things will just change overnight. It does happen frequently. And I think that is the only possibility that could ameliorate what is going on. Because everybody just wants to make dirty money. It's so sordid.
It's the easiest money to make.
When we were students, we will not stomach all of these things. We will be on the streets the following morning. We would pick up our dead and continue to struggle and fight. These days, when you see student union leaders, you meet them in the homes of politicians, collecting their own share. And the politicians are very clever. They will give you new notes. And you think, you are good. Only that you don't know that you have actually, been paid for your own future.
Wow.
It is sordid and sad.
Wow. Well, Mr. Dapo Ogunwusi, you've spoken like a patriot, but
I am Dapo Ogunwusi.
Ogunwusi, I'm sorry about that. Mr. Dapo Ogunwusi.
Yes.
You're spoken like a patriot.
Yes.
Now, I still have a question. Something came to my head. Amongst all the candidates we have on the scene now, two more questions actually. I will take this first. Amongst all the candidates we have on the scene now, do you have preference for anybody? You said you think you should still be in the South. Tinubu is there right now. But in the other party,
I have preference for one person.
Who is that? Tell us.
He is the only person who has been in public office and could beat his chest that he has never stolen a penny.
Who is that?
He's the only person I know who has probably, if I met him on a trip in a plane for the first time in my life, and I'm talking about Peter Obi.
Oh, okay.
I was never governor. I was not even a councillor. There were 2 people to receive me at the airport. He was carrying his own bag. We need that kind of leadership. People who will use all the money you see they use in buying jeeps, who will pump it into the farms, who will pump it into electricity. And I think Peter Obi can do that. I don't want to hold brief for him. I don't want to campaign for him. That is my own choice.
A lot of people like him. I have a soft spot for him too. I won't lie about that. Now, my final question to you is this. Okay. When you say owners of Nigeria, it's no more a cliche, right? There are people that
No, it's not.
that hold sway. We're talking General IBB, General Basojo, General Abdusalam, General Gusso. Who else is there? They should be. They always talk about 5 of them: Abdusalam, IBB, Obasanjo, TY, and General Gusso. Those 5. Do you think they have a role to play to get Nigeria out of whatever is happening? Do you think they have a role to play?
Yeah,
Do you think
all of those.
Do you think they have a role to play, and do you think they are playing a role behind the scene to get us out of this morass?
All of those people are American, boys, and when they want to solve a problem like that, they will make a recommendation.
Okay.
And the US always goes by whatever they recommend.
Okay.
So that is how I believe it could flow. Because I have no doubt that the situation now is perilously bad.
So you think they have a role to play and they have recommended somebody?
I know they have a role to play, and I believe they will play it.
Okay.
And it will be at the right time.
Fantastic. Mr. Dapo Ogunwusi, thank you very much for coming to State of the Nation on the Atlanta Discuss channel. I like you very much. I like the way you talk. It's a no-holds-barred discussion, and you went for the jugular. I like that very much. You were honest about it, and you have fantastic pedigree. I'm sure you'll be back again in the future. To all our viewers, yes, you've listened to the man. He didn't hold back anything. There's nothing he said that is new. Nigeria needs help. It's really, really bad. It needs help. Our problem is failure of leadership. So someone that can lead by example. He has recommended Peter Obi. That's who he thinks. Others have said that everybody has their opinion on this. But the key thing I always say for us is that our votes must count. The vote of the people. Vox populi, vox Dei, they say. So it's a wrap there. See you again next week, Friday. Thank you, Mr. Ogunwusi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.